Who's your favorite saint and why? I have several, actually. I have several. I'll tell you who uh, my patron saint is. My patron saint is Saint Aegidius, and even my pastor didn't know who this was. My priest, he was like, "Who the heck?" But this is Saint Giles the Hermit, very obscure one, and so this is my patron saint. I actually have a couple of things right here. Here's I've got this icon of him, Saint Giles the Hermit. He's usually always pictured. I don't see it in this one, but I have it over here as well. Where did it go? Yes, right here. We've also got this little icon here of St. Giles. He's usually always pictured with a little deer by him because there's a story here. This was like, I want to say it's like 7th, 6th, 8th century, somewhere around there, like middle of the first millennium, where he lived. And it was during the time of the kingdom of the Franks, the Frankish kingdom. And this guy, I believe he was originally from Greece, and he moved there to evangelize, at first to just be a hermit. He's also, by the way, known as St. Giles the Abbot, and I'll tell you why. An abbot is somebody who's a leader of a monastery. So first he was a hermit, legend says. Oh, there is a deer in this one, by the way. There it is, right over here, just hiding away. So he first was a hermit, he hid it away, and then the king took on a hunting party and was tracking down this deer or foxes or whatever, and they ended up like striking him. You can see the arrow here lying there at the bottom, right there, and he's often pictured with an arrow in his thigh or something. And so the king, apologetically for actually striking him with the arrow, was like, hold up, well, I want to make it right, and ended up on that land where this happened, giving him that land and starting a monastery. And so Giles became an abbot. So Giles, having been physically wounded, he is known as the patron saint of health. And as many early saints are, they take on many patronages. So he's also then, by extension, the patron saint of mental health as well. And so that was really significant to me. Mental health is what I study, it's what I experience personally. And so there are other patron saints out there, but this one was significant to me because at the time I was doing genealogy, and there are no Catholics in my family. Like going back, you have to go back 150, 200 years to find Catholics in my family. But I did find some, and they were German Catholics. And one of them is my great grandfather. His name was Aegidius. And in the Latin, because things were Latinized back then in church records. Fascinating because, like, I don't want to get off track here, but church records at the time, and this really blew my mind because the Holy Roman Empire and Germany wasn't a country at the time, so they didn't really have like actual country records. Like you think of the United States, you get a birth certificate, you get married, you get the marriage certificate and all that. They didn't have that with the country. It was in the parishes, in the Catholic parishes. And so I was finding these records in the Catholic parishes. And traditionally, this only really happened among German people and Germanic peoples there at the time, the 1800s and 1700s. They would name their children. You would see a whole generation of children that were just named after whatever saint whose feast day they were born on. And so he was born on this feast day. And so they just named him Aegidius. So pretty cool. So that connection was really important to me. I also like, of course, there's a lot here that I like, honestly. Let me see if I can find. I have a list here. If you know anything about me, I like lists. I like Aquinas, of course. I like Augustine. I like Dempna. Aquinas, Augustine. Dempna is also another one that is a patron saint of mental health. I like Mother Teresa because I connect, there's a little bit of connection there I have with the research arm of the Mother Teresa Center. Let's put her in here. I don't want to leave her out. But I also like classical ones like St. Joseph. I did a video on St. Joseph that he became near and dear in my heart during a really important time in my life. And he's just a really great model of faithfulness and chastity. And so there's a lot of saints I like. It would take prep a whole video on that. Yeah, a lot of them. St. Hildegard. Yeah. So there's a lot I could say there, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. I hope that fully answers.